Ooh, and it does, it smells like cake. And start fulfilling a ton of orders. Really excited about that. I'm looking forward to it. The last couple of days have been so hectic. Oh, wow. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have a lot of packing to do. I have a lot of busyness with my small business that I want to take you guys along with me for. I have new scents that I want to unpack. It's gonna be a pretty easygoing video, but still hectic at the same time. Right now, actually the power went out in our house and it's been a few minutes now. It's been at least half an hour of the power being out. So I have no idea when the power is gonna go back on, which means that I don't have light in my studio. I can still work in my studio. It's dim down there. I don't think I'll be taking you guys with me for this portion, but I do have to fill some lotions down there. I do have to, well, I will try to fulfill as many packages as I can in the dark. I'm being dramatic, it's not that dark down there. But hopefully when the lights kick back on, I can start filming. But yeah, since it's plenty light up here, I can show you the package that I got. Village Crafted Candles sent me some fragrance oils. Anyone else thinking about fall already? I know I am. Fall's my favorite season, so I can't help but start thinking about fall, even though it's a day like today where it's plus 30 degrees Celsius, which is this in Fahrenheit. It's a hot day today, but I'm still dreaming of fall. What do we got here? Oh, okay. We have 3 fragrances. I can smell them already. And I see one that is intriguing. Just making sure my address isn't in the shot. All right, so the first fragrance I pulled out is called Funfetti Cake. And this is actually one of Kale's favorite cake flavors. So I wonder if it smells just like the real thing. Ooh, and it does, it smells like cake. That's a really nice scent. I'm not the biggest fan of sugary, sweet bakery scents. But fall time is the time to do it. Fall and Christmas time. And this would make a really nice cozy candle for the fall. I've seen people make candles. I don't know if I would ever try this, but they stick real sprinkles around the edge of the candle glass and fill it up so it kind of looks like a funfetti cake style candle. I've seen that being done before. Again, I don't know if I would do it, but I think those candles look really cool. This would be a great fragrance oil for something like that. But I suspect that there's a lot of vanilla in this. So if you're gonna make soap with this guy, that's something to consider. I got fragrance oil on my hand here. Let's wipe that off. We got an update on the power outage. They are working on it, so that's good. They have no estimation as to when it's gonna kick back in. So this next fragrance is the one that I saw and was intrigued by, and that's Black Vanilla and Oud. If I'm pronouncing that right. Oh, okay, I love this. You know how I said I don't really like sugary scents? I love vanilla warm scents that have that depth to it. And this is amazing, this is fantastic. I love this. Oh, I want to make a million things with this, but the first thing that comes to mind are candles. This is gonna make a really beautiful, cozy candle in my opinion. So I may have to do that at some point. It's pretty. It's, you know how some vanilla scents can be a little heavy and a little much? This is pretty and it's warm and pretty. Oh, I wish I had smell-o-vision so you guys understand what I'm talking about, but it's lovely. Like, I would love my house to smell like this. Yeah, big fan of this one. And the last scent is interesting. Sugared lychee and suede. 2 things I would not have put together. So let's see what this smells like. Oh, I like that a lot. It's really fruity and bubbly. Kind of like soda pop, but the suede adds a smoothness to it. I think a soap scented in this would be amazing, or a sugar scrub, bath bomb, something bright and girly. This would be a great fragrance oil for that. even a lotion. I would probably wear this as a lotion for sure. Again, the word pretty comes to mind. I love it. All right, well, thank you so much, Village Craft and Candle, for sending me these fragrance oils. I may have to make something with one of these guys by the end of the video. So we'll see what I end up doing with that. But as of right now, I can't do much and I can't show you guys much. So the next time you see me, hopefully the power will be back on and I will be very productive. I have light, I have power. The power came back on, which means I can get right into work and start fulfilling a ton of orders. And because there's so much, I don't know how much I'll be talking, but I will definitely drop in with some commentary here and there. But please do enjoy this B-roll of a solopreneur trying to fulfill her orders by herself. Hey guys, we are continuing to pack orders and I'm doing my soap of the month and my golden bubble gifts right now. My process now is just putting them into a bag and wrapping the band around them, which is so much simpler than what I was doing. Thank you so much for the feedback in the last video. You guys were so nice about the fact that I wasn't gonna be able to put as much effort into the videos as I have been in before because my business is ramping up. I'm continuing to make more and more sales, which is super exciting. And that's something that I do want. I said at some point that I just want to make pretty soap and sell it, but there's a part of me that does want to see this company continue to grow. So it's super duper exciting. And I love that, especially with, I'm going to call it soap season. It's coming up. I know people can sell soap all year round. I sell soap all year round. But there's something about fall, there's something about winter, cozy season really, that drives up the sales of my products for the past 7 years. This time of year has always been the busiest. So I'm really excited about that. I'm looking forward to it. I do want to start to get involved with some of the events in the area. People in Washington love their festivals, they love their farmers markets, and it would be really nice to try to get into something somewhere and start selling to people in person. There was a time where I was doubting if I would ever do that again, but I don't know. I'm getting the itch, guys. I'm starting to want to do that again. I also love the feedback that I got about my packaging. A lot of you, the majority of you, love it. There were some people that talked about the fact that these might end up in landfills and a very small fraction of people actually reuse these bags. And I think at the end of the day, there's going to be issues with all kinds of packaging. And if you stress out about a small number of people who might not agree with the type of packaging that you're doing, then you're just gonna be paralyzed and not able to do anything really. But the point of having a brand and a business is that you're not wanting to please everybody. You strike a chord with a very specific type of person. And while I always welcome feedback, always, and please continue to do that, you guys. Don't be afraid to let me know your opinion if you disagree with me. But when it comes to this packaging, I love it. And I have tried all kinds of packaging. Literally, I have tried shrink wrapping. I have tried naked. I have tried boxes. I have tried bands now. And this is the one that feels the most right. Now, is this me committing to these bags forever and ever? I don't know. The only thing really consistent about my brand has been the changes that I've made. But one thing I'm really proud of when it comes to my business and to Quench Bear in general is that I've always had the same scents in my core line. I've always kept those core scents there, and I'm happy about that. Even though the names of those scents have changed and shifted over the years, I do love those scents. Those scent blends are amazing, and I'm glad that they have survived throughout these many different brand changes and packaging changes and whatnot. I'm really excited about the next month's soap of the month because I'm going to be making a pumpkin soap, which I think I did it once before. No, I don't think I've ever done this before. I've always wanted to do this, but I've never done it before. Pumpkin soap using real pumpkin. No, I have not done that before, but I have made a pumpkin themed soap before that is scented in pumpkin spice and another variation of pumpkin. But this kind of soap always sells well for me. Actually, this watermelon soap, which was my soap of the month, sold the best. Out of all the soaps in the past, from my recent launch, if I had to name a #1 soap that sold the best, it was this watermelon one. By far. One soap that did not sell very many, I don't think I sold a single one, which is sad because it is one of my favorite ones, is my alkai soap. It's the coconut eucalyptus one. And that surprised me because that's one of the scents that I always get requested for, is a coconut scent. And I do wonder if it's the optics. People don't like a browned soap. I don't know, because I do know coconut is quite popular. It's one of those soaps that I'm positive that if I were selling it in person in a farmer's market, that would be my best seller, because to me, it smells the most fresh. It smells the most traditionally soap-like out of everything that I sell. So yeah, it's sad. This poor alkai. Kale has gone south to Portland, Oregon. Is it Portland? Because our friends are flying in and they're meeting up with us. And they are staying with us for a weekend. And these are friends that we actually met while vending at a farmer's market. Actually, no, it was the Butter Tart Festival in Midland. And it was the first big, huge event that I did. And I loved it. I had so much fun doing that. But they were just a couple of customers that came by, bought a bunch of our stuff, and they were touristing the area. The area that I lived in Midland is beautiful. If you're ever in the Georgian Bay area, stop by Midland. It's honestly one of the cutest towns. I miss it so much. But they were there to stay, I think it was an Airbnb, or it might have been a quaint little hotel, who knows. But they were staying over the weekend, and after the Butter Tart Festival, Kale and I went to a farmer's market in one of the towns next to Midland, and they went to that too. So we saw them twice. And when we saw them the second time, they bought from us again. And then we exchanged numbers because we thought they were so sweet and we kind of vibed, we kind of clicked. You know, you meet people and you just, my friend Ian calls it chi, you just, you know, click. That's how I felt with these guys. So we clicked and we decided, and I'm never like this. I'm not like this. And if I didn't have a husband like Kale, I don't think I will ever do something like this. But we decided to just hang out with them one afternoon. And we met up with them on one of the docks in Midland, because Midland is on the water. And yeah, we just spent a whole afternoon with them talking. And it was just amazing. I feel like people my age that are in their 30s, it's so hard to make friends these days. Really, really is. And for someone like me who is a huge introvert, I don't really need to be making friends. Like, it's not something that I feel like is a huge part of my life that's missing, because the friends that I do have, I love them and I'll have them for life. But I don't need a ton of friends. I don't need to be going out all the time. I don't need, you know, a brunch. I don't need a girls' night. I'm not that kind of person. I mean, I do enjoy those things, but I don't need them in my life, absolutely. So it's not something that I necessarily seek, but because I have a husband like Kale who can talk to a wall for half an hour, he's so chatty and he loves people. He's such a people's person. We were able to make friends. So we continued the friendship, and whenever they would come back to Midland, because for them, they fell in love with the town too, and they would come back periodically just to relax for a weekend. They always let us know, and we always hosted them either a dinner or spending some time with them. And eventually they got married, and when they got married in Canada, it was just me and Kale at their wedding. We were their witnesses. It was so nice. So they're coming. I don't know if I'm going to feature them in the videos, but you might see a glimpse here and there because we do have a few things planned. We're going to show them Olympia. I really like Olympia a lot. Where we live, it's quite rural, and downtown Olympia has so much. It's the capital of Washington, so there's a Capitol building there. There's a really cool downtown area. There's that water that's there, so I think we'll have fun. And then the next day, we're going to be going out on the water. We have a boat that we want to take them out on. Maybe we'll go fishing. And then this weekend is the weekend of the Perseids. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Whoever knows will probably correct me down in the comments, but the meteor shower that comes every August is coming this weekend, and that's going to be a lot of fun to check out. Kale and I last year, when we checked out this meteor shower, we took our little paddle boat out in the middle of the lake that we live on, and we just like stared at the sky, and the amount of meteors we saw was not a ton, but it was still pretty cool to see. Like these little tufts of hair that are coming up, I kind of look like an owl. But anyways, they're just me pinning my curtain bangs that I got back so that when I take them out, they'll actually hang that way. So I plan on pumpkin scented things, but I do want to launch an autumn collection with a theme generally being coziness, warmth. It's my favorite time of year, which I've mentioned before, and I just love the coziness of fall, with the air getting just a little bit chillier, with the leaves starting to turn. In Washington, even though it's not as cold as where we came from in Calgary and over in Ontario, we do get seasons. We don't get a ton of snow here, but we do get a fall, which is nice. I'd like to visit a pumpkin patch at some point. It's just fun, you know? One thing that I've been wanting to do with my brand is because it's celebrating Washington, I've been wanting to take my products just around our travels and when we visit places so that I can do photo ops with my products in front of the places that inspire their names. I think that'll be fun for the Instagram. I still consider my company pretty small. I still consider my company a startup. And you hear a lot of success stories about people who started their companies a couple years ago and now they're in warehouses. And to me, that's not going to be my journey. I'm already in year 7 and I'm still the only employee of my business. I'm not saying that I'm not going to be in a warehouse someday, but I don't need to be in a warehouse right now. I'm still figuring stuff out and developing my brand. I don't want to get to that stage until I have everything like locked in, until I've been doing something consistently for at least a couple of years, until I have the same packaging, the same labels, the same soap names for a couple of years. Then maybe I can be consistent enough to be able to train someone to do it, because there's no point in training somebody on something only for me to change the process a couple weeks later. I also don't want to invest in packaging and professionally printed labels until I figured out the core line. So for those wanting to get there right away, it can happen. It's not impossible, but if it's not happening for you, it doesn't mean that that dream's over. okay? It just means that your journey is just gonna take a little bit longer, and actually that might be good for you, because in that slow period, you can be learning things, figuring things out, you could be changing your mind, you can be exploring things, all without the pressure of employing people and all without the pressure of having to make a huge warehouse rent payment. And I've seen that. I have seen business owners who have taken the plunge, that have their profits just continuing to be eaten away by all of their overhead because they took on so much. And I don't blame them. I mean, it's alluring when you're seeing that level of success to just go all in. But I think I'm just gonna continue to be cautious. One of the books that I've read that really has influenced that is, man, I'm now blanking on the name of the book. It's gonna be over here. The Power of Money. Anywho, the point of that book is to tell you that although it's not flashy or as exciting, to say that sometimes success can take a super long time, especially if you're being very cautious. The majority of very successful people, that's what their journeys look like. And the reason why you don't hear about it is because it's not flashy, it's not sensationalized. It's a very humble, boring story. It's very boring to hear that you tried something and tweaked something incrementally many times, a dozen times over a decade before figuring it out. It's not exactly something you can teach someone, because having patience and sticking with something, even if it's not earning you a ton of money, is not that attractive. A lot of people don't want to do that. All right, here is the last soap. I'm trying out different linen bags. So I've got a few bags from Amazon, which I really like, but they are definitely, the quality of them is not great, but they are the cheaper ones. And I'm trying these ones now, which I like. They're much better quality, but they are a little short. Like, I can't pull the drawstring shut. See? So, like, they're better quality. Can you see the difference? Like, you can, my soap's design is visible through this Amazon one because it's so thin and sheer, and the quality of this one is much nicer. The bags feel substantial, and the drawstring feels really good, and it's actually knotted, whereas I have to hand knot all of these ones. But it's just not tall enough, which is frustrating. Anyways, I still might keep them. It's actually kind of nice that you can see the tops, you know? I kind of like that. So, decisions. So I'm gonna finish all this up. Thank you so much for listening to me. I have these talks a lot when I'm down in my studio, but I often cut them out of my videos because I feel like they're boring. But from my last video, it seems like you guys listen to me while you're doing your homework, someone said, or you just like hearing me chat. So I'm gonna keep this in. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the feedback is like, because I do find that this thing is quite isolating, and it's nice to be able to talk it out with people who can respond in your comments. It really feels like I'm chatting with a bunch of my good friends. So thank you for keeping me company. So I'm gonna continue with this, and I'll see you in the next clip, wherever that'll be. So the packaging continues. The last couple of days have been so hectic. We've been running around so much. We said goodbye to our guests, and we had such a good time with them, and it was honestly like no time has passed. We're going to be going to their wedding in October, which is exciting because I want to take you guys along with us for that journey. It's going to be a really fun trip down to California, so looking forward to that. And for those who are curious, here are a few clips of what we decided to do during their time here.
What? Yeah, we wanted to ask you if you would get out of town. Really?
Yeah.
It really depends.
Lighter usually. These ones are kind of filling your truck plates.
So it was a good time had by all. We also had Kale's aunt, who's visiting from Iowa, here as well. And it was so nice to show her the garden because she has such a beautiful one also in Iowa. And yeah, it was just nice to be able to show everyone our home. And it really did feel like our home that we were showing people. So that's a really good feeling. We have now been in this house longer than the house in Calgary. And although we definitely enjoyed our time in Calgary, this is absolutely the right place for us. And it's been made more apparent to us as we've talked to our friends and our family. Hearing their comments of our home and how great of a fit they think it is for us, it just really reaffirmed our decision to come here and to buy a home here in Washington. The plan for today is continuing to fulfill orders, and then I'm going to squeeze in a sugar scrub batch that I want to make for the month of August's Golden Bubble BFFs. So I will finish this up and come back once I've had that ready. So I've once again cleared the board, and now I'm going to work on that sugar scrub. And the first step is to make the base. And for this sugar scrub, it's actually not going to be a whipped sugar scrub, or a whipped foaming sugar scrub, I should say. It's going to be an emulsified sugar scrub, which is technically simpler than the sugar scrubs that I usually make, but it's not any less nice. I do love an emulsified sugar scrub, and the key is to keep it creamy and to keep it spreadable, which I believe this scrub is. So let's go ahead and start doing that. We're going to start with some shea butter. And this scrub is going to be a little bit more moisturizing than my foaming soapy scrubs because it's going to have a lot of butter and oil. Next, we're adding an emulsifier, and for this scrub, I'm going to be using Polawax. And I'm not using as much as I normally would, just to be able to keep that scrub a little bit softer. We're going to add some stearic acid, and this gives a lot of body to the scrub and helps to keep it stable and prevents it from melting. Next, we're going to add some cetyl alcohol, which will help emulsify the sugar scrub. And what that means is that it'll turn the scrub into a lotion in the shower, which is actually a safety measure so that it doesn't turn the bathtub into an oil slick or your shower into an oily mess that you can slip and fall in. So I'm adding some hemp seed oil. This is so lovely and nourishing for your skin. Hello everybody, it is the next day, and I lost a bit of footage at the end because I forgot to turn the camera off, and the clip ended up being split between one 38-minute clip and another 48-minute clip. And I will not waste time uploading that to my computer because it will take forever. So I simply just deleted those clips. And we're going to pick up where the last usable clip left off. But anyways, I ended up melting down those ingredients. And then once they were melted down, I placed them in the fridge to quickly cool down those ingredients. And this is what we have. And it's the next day. My base is pretty solid, and what I'm going to do now is to transfer this base into a mixer so that I can break it down pretty much. And when it comes to sugar scrubs, once you start selling a lot of them, then you can pre-make your bases and store them for whenever you need them. That's kind of what I like about sugar scrubs, is that they're easy to master batch at the end of the day, so they should be quick to put together if you're starting to sell them and your sales start to pick up. I might move you guys actually to a top view. I just finished having a talk with Jenna from Reviga Cosmetics and Tara Lee from Tara Lee Skincare, and we just chatted about the pressures of owning small businesses and running YouTube channels and how we navigate that whole world of content creation while also trying to carve out a brand for ourselves. I mean, Tara closed her business, or the side of her business that sold the products that she made, but Jenna was just preparing for her launch, and she lives in the UK, so there's so much preparation that comes along with that, way more than there would be for someone in the US trying to do the same thing. And I just commend her for her hard work, because it looks like everything's coming together, and I'm so happy and excited for her. But we had such a great chat about everything and the importance of mental health in what we're doing, which is so key to remember to take care of yourselves, as well as your customers, as well as your subscribers, as well as your patrons. You should come first. And it was great to be able to talk about that with two women who really understood the pressures of this position. I'm gonna go ahead and whip this up and come back. So here is the base after being whipped around a bit, and you can see it's super creamy and lovely. It's a great consistency, which means it'll be nice and spreadable once it's in sugar scrub form. And speaking of the sugar, we're gonna be using a light brown sugar today for our sugar in our sugar scrub. And this is a first for me. I usually use a white granulated sugar. Brown sugar does offer just a little bit more scrubbiness than a white granulated sugar does, which makes it nice for people who really want a super scrubby scrub. We're gonna add some rhubarb extract. And for the fragrance oil, we're gonna be using the black vanilla and oud fragrance from Village Craft and Candle. This fragrance oil smells amazing. It has that warmth of the vanilla, but it also has a nice clean smell as well. It's a very cozy scent that I would totally love in a candle as well. And the last thing I'm adding is some Optifin Plus, because this is going to be exposed to water, and we want to make sure that the scrub stays as shelf stable as possible. Anytime you introduce water into a product, you should have something in there that helps to preserve and fight against bacterial growth. So I'm going to go ahead and whip this up and come back. And here it is, and look how gorgeous this is. It does looks like icing, but it's incredibly soft. Let me bring you closer. It is incredibly soft and smooth. This will feel so wonderful spreading over your skin, and the scent of it is to die for. It's so lovely. I'm gonna go ahead and start putting this into a piping bag so that I can pipe them into my scrub jars. I'm just gonna take my very large piping bag and start scooping. I'm gonna get a second spatula. BRB. Oh, this is amazing. It looks like I've just been baking a whole bunch of cookie dough. And brown sugar naturally smells so sweet, but I do think that the black vanilla and oud really pairs well with the natural scent of the brown sugar. This texture is to die for, oh my gosh. When it comes to sugar scrubs, they come in all sorts of textures and forms and price points. Some of the most expensive sugar scrubs that I've seen on the market aren't even emulsified. They're literally just oil and sugar, and they price them at $50 for a 4-ounce jar, which is awesome. If a company can achieve that, if they're able to sell units at that price, then they have really succeeded in their marketing. And I even saw on one company's website, one of the instructions for their sugar scrub was mix it up. If you see the oil separating from the sugar, just stir it to reincorporate the oils with the sugar. And I thought that was fascinating to see that in a large brand, where that would be a point of complaint for a lot of customers, for small business owners. So I think sometimes we can be really hard on ourselves. I think the important thing when we're formulating and creating products is whether or not we're happy with it. And we have to use them super hard. We have to be very critical about our products and see if it meets our standards. Because like I say this so much, we are our best advocates for our products. So if we don't love what we're selling, then how are you going to be able to convince a stranger to love what you're selling? One word that comes to mind when I smell this is it smells expensive. It smells luxurious. So here's my bag of sugar scrub. Let me go prepare my jars and come back. so creamy. And here they are. Here are my lovely sugar scrubs, all piped, looking kind of delicious, not gonna lie. It looks a lot like peanut butter fluff. It smells really good. It doesn't smell like pastry. It has that vanilla scent to it, but because it has that black vanilla and oud, it elevates it to just a gorgeous vanilla profile that isn't exactly tasty smelling, but more fresh and kind of what you want your house to smell like. Or if you want to wear it, that too. But it's lovely, it's amazing. I really like that fragrance oil from Village Craft and Candle. And if you're interested in a really sophisticated, lovely vanilla scent that will appeal to a lot of people, then the link to that is down below. If you guys want to make a sugar scrub like this for yourselves, you can do that. There is a link to my Patreon down below where I give all the steps. I give all the amounts for the ingredients, and there's a little mini blog post where I explain the product a little bit more. And it's also a place where you can reach out and chat with me if you want to talk about sugar scrubs, if you want to talk about soaps, if you want to talk about anything business related, or even just about life in general. You can do that on my Patreon. And speaking of my Patreon, thank you to everyone who chooses to support me on there. You guys know how amazing all of you are and how generous you are. Thank you, really, because without your support and without your generosity, I don't think this channel would be where it is. So thank you so, so much. And also thank you to everyone who chooses to watch my videos. You might not be a patron, but you enjoy watching me every week. Thank you so much. You're also valued. Your comments and your likes, I love it. So thank you guys so, so much. I have a lot coming for fall. I have more fall projects. This was the first of many. I do have fall soaps planned. I do have other fall projects planned, so stay tuned for that. But if you enjoy this content and this video, then please join me for the next one. And until that next video, keep smiling, keep being awesome, and keep making beautiful things like cozy vanilla brown sugar scrubs. Bye guys.